All right, the recording should be in session. Jenna, can you see this recording sign is on? Yeah. I think the sign.
Yes.
Okay, great. So as I said, today's event is enrollment next steps, focus on orientation and class registration. So I put it together, this kind of flow chart for you to understand. After being accepted to Georgia State, what you need to do before your class registration. Number one, the most important thing, the National College Decision Day was May 1st. All of you, I think a lot of students have already submitted their intent to enroll. Even though Georgia State is non-binding, but when you submit your intent to enroll, that impacts a lot of data reporting on our end. Also, that impacts a lot of scholarship offering, because if you submit your intent to enroll, if you you already been awarded a scholarship, it will secure that scholarship to you. Now, if you change your mind and choose to go to another university or use Georgia State to get your visa and then change your institution later, so you will be holding on to the scholarship or the waiver until class starts. It will be too late for us to get the fund back and reoffer to other students. So even though it's non-binding, again, I do recommend all of you to consider intent to enroll seriously, because this is not only impacting you, but also will help other students to get the resources that if you do not need it, we can share with others, okay? After you submit your intent to enroll, if you do not know how to submit your intent to enroll, you need to go to your what is that called? You go to your status portal. During your application, throughout the application, you get all the emails. Hey, you still need to submit this document, and this is what you need to do. All the emails, there's a link in there called application status portal. You need to go to your portal, and from there to submit your intent to enroll. If you still don't know, put in chat, we'll send you the link as well. After you finish your intent to enroll, you need to activate your campus ID, your Georgia State student email, and your PALS account. If you say, hey, I don't know how to activate my campus ID, go to Google, how to activate Georgia State University campus ID. Boom, Google will tell you better than anybody here how to set up my Georgia State University student email. Absolutely, you will get the right answer. How to set up on my Georgia State University PALS account. So don't just say how to activate my student email, because that will give you hundreds of answers from all different institutions. We have over 4,500 higher ed institutions in the United States. Can you believe it? So making sure when you ask in Google or AI, any AI apps, making sure you ask the right institution, which is Georgia State University. Now, after you finish those two steps, in the meanwhile, you can do two steps parallel at the same time. If you are a F1 visa holder or a student who need F1 visa or J visa to study in the United States, you absolutely need to complete something called I-20. You will be receiving the email from the ISSS office, or already received it from the ISSS office 24 to 48 hours after your acceptance from the admissions office. You will get a letter, email from ISSS, ask you to complete your form in iStart. Once you complete all the required document, pretty much several things, copy of your passport, your bank statement, which is your financial affidavit, or if you have a scholarship letter, you can upload it there. And the third one, if you have any sponsors, like your aunt, your family, your friends, or a third-party scholarship like your government, who are willing to sponsor you, there is a sponsorship form you need to complete and upload it. And making sure they only accept, I know this is weird, they only accept documents in PDF file. PDF is very common, it's a secure, and also it saves the space. And it's also, it won't be distorted or twisted when you upload the document. So save your document. If it's Word, if it's Excel, other things, you can save as on your computer as a PDF file, and then upload it to your iStart portal. When you finish your I-20, in the same time, please also finish your Start at State. I will send you more information later in the next page, but Start at State is a online pre-orientation module. It is very confusing. A lot of students say, hey, I already finished my online orientation. That is Start at State. So therefore, international, there are 3 steps, 3 orientation steps. 1 is online orientation called Start at State. 2 is your online advising session that where you meet with your advisor, register for class. 3 is your ISO, is your International Students Orientation. It only covers immigration, I-94 checking in, letting the U.S. immigration, USCIS know, hey, the students we sponsored on the F1 visa, who is already here, who has registered classes at Georgia State. So that is the International Students Orientation purpose. That orientation is held the first week, the 1 week before class start. Class starts for fall 2024 is on August 26th. There's a screen later I will share with you as well. So the week before August 26th, I will say August 19th, 20th, 21st, they will send you an email, hey, join the International Students Orientation. In the past, because of COVID again, it has been online. I think this year they will do in person, okay? Making sure when you book your airline tickets, check with the ISSS office, making sure you secure your International Student Orientation. If it's in person and you cannot come, they always willing to accommodate you by providing you with a makeup day. So when you arrive Georgia State, you can go meet with the ISSS office advisor and check you in. All right, so making sure you do not want to miss those communication. You have to stay on top. After you finish your Start at State and complete your I-20, the 2 things has to be completed all together. Not the same time, but you have to complete both. Then you will receive an automated email say, hey, thank you for completing your I-20 and Start at State. It's time to register. The email is scheduled to send out every Monday. So if you finished your I-20 and Start at State by Wednesday, the next Monday, you will get an email say, hey, register for your advising session. Now, there are 2 advising sessions offered. One is in June, one is in July, okay? The sessions are here. I listed them here for you. After you complete the Start at State, which as I said, is a self-paced pre-online orientation, is a PowerPoint. When you finish, you will be able to move on to the next, which is a academic advising session. Schedule the email, sent out every Monday. In June, which is on June 20th, or on July 24th. You do not need to go both. It's a session for the student to meet with the advisor to register. If you have already participated in your advising session, you do not need to register again. If you are not a freshman student, I already explained what is considered a freshman, students who are graduate from high school or within 5 years, or student who graduated from high school 5 years prior but have never attended colleges or university. You need to attend this advising session in order to meet with somebody to register you for class, because you cannot register on your own. There's a hole there for you, okay? 3 orientations again: Start at State, advising session, International Students Orientation. The last one, again, contact ISSS office. Those are their emails at the bottom. ISSS@gsu.edu for Atlanta campus, ISSS@pc@gsu.edu for Perimeter College. Okay. I will share this recording with all of you. If you have already been checked in order to check you in, you have to change your screen name to your name listed on your application or during your registration, so we can locate your file and check you in. My colleague is still checking in everybody who joined in late. So far, I think we have about 90 some students here. So it's gonna take a while. So please making sure, change your screen name to your application name so that we can locate your file and we can share this recording, especially for those of you who joined in late. Now, after you finish, go back to this. After you finish those three here, okay, you said, oh, okay, wonderful. Now I can go to my advising session to register for class. Not quite yet. So this is what you need to do. You have to remove holds. The holds are there to making sure students have a reminder, say, hey, don't forget to add on your immunization. So in the United States, I think most of the countries actually, they are requiring anybody from K to 12, if you go to any public school, okay, you are or any education institutions, that you have to complete your immunization. So go to health.gsu.edu. You will get an email from them already. They are all automated for all the students required to be in person on campus. If you are doing virtual, if you say, oh, I'm not coming to campus, I'm still studying online from my country, you need to email health.gsu.edu to say, hey, I'm doing online. I'm not going to be in person. Immunization is not required. They can do a waiver until you are ready. We have students who could not get their visa on time. They want to start at Georgia State online. So that is another topic for another session. After this one, around end of June, beginning of July, we will have a better, clearer picture of which population or country of students cannot get a visa, because I do know right now, some countries, their visa appointment is already 300 days in advance. So even you got your I-20 right now, there's no way for you to get I-20 to be on campus by August 26th. So you need to defer, or you can change your first semester to online, do virtual, so that you can continue your education without delay. But that is another topic during another session. We're gonna go back to what we have to do for orientation class registration for today, okay? So you have to submit your required immunization unless you are doing online. You also need to update your emergency contact. For students who are attending Georgia State, you have to list either your parents, your guardian, or your family member who you will be contacted on your behalf. They will be contacted on your behalf in case of emergency. God forbid any emergency is going to happen for any of our students, for any of our loved ones, right? But there are things that we need to communicating with them. So we do have one student, give you an example. The students on the bike in Atlanta, it was actually a avoidable situation. The student ran a red light. Even for bikers, you still have to follow the traffic light rule. The students run a red light and collided with an incoming vehicle. The student was okay, but during that time, the students were knocked out and the phone got disconnected, everything. The student was admitted to a local hospital, which is right down the street from Georgia State University, but nobody can get a hold of him, and his parents couldn't get a hold of him, and his parents couldn't even call Georgia State to do a wellness check. A wellness check means if they cannot get a hold of you, they can contact university housing or the police department, asking them to check on their behalf to see, hey, where are my kids? How I get a hold of my kids? If you do not list them as your emergency contact because you are over 18, due to privacy, we cannot react on their behalf because they are not listed your emergency contact. Okay, so please do add them to your emergency contact. And also there are other FERPA forms you have to add them on if they wanted to review your academic, finance, or other information, medical information, because after you turn 18, you cannot share those information unless you fill the FERPA and add them to your emergency hold. I'm sorry, this is inconvenience. This is law. Even my daughter go to college, we have to do all this paperwork involving this. You have to be the one. She was the one. You have to be the student to fill in all the information. So I went through that. I know how important for the parents to be able to see your financial statements and pay your bill, right? Your mom and dad are gonna see that. If you don't add them to your account, they will not be able to see it. Okay, the next one, some students, not everybody, some students who are in STEM majors, especially computer science, for example, you are required to take a AccuPlacer exam. You will be waived out of the AccuPlacer exam if you have taken your SAT and have a math of 640, okay? So if you, or you have take AP Calculus and reach a 3, the exam. So if you are not reaching those required, you will not be waived out of the AccuPlacer math exam. So you have to go online. You will get an email though, okay? You'll get an email about your AccuPlacer exam. You have to go online, do the testing.gsu.edu and schedule your AccuPlacer exam. If you have any questions about how to schedule the AccuPlacer exam online, please do email our office. We have a snip that we can share all the screenshots, how to go through step by step to register for your AccuPlacer exam. Also, there's another hold which is not going to affect until pretty much mid of September or October. So that will not preventing you from class registration, but it is important. Many of the students who has not taken their final exam or submitted their final transcript. So you need to do so after you get to Georgia State. If you get those results from your school, from your exam body, please do providing the final transcript to Georgia State as soon as possible. All right, once all holds are removed and you can meet with your advisors and register for classes, okay? Regardless your freshman, transfer, transition, post-bac, re-entry, you can meet with your advisor. For non-freshman students, you can actually register on your own. But if you need help, please schedule your contact with your advisor. This is the email advisement.gsu.edu. It's a very clear, simple, easy guided web page. You just go there, find my advisor, click on that, find my advisor based on your major, based on your level of study, like you have how many transfer credit, or if you have 0 transfer credit, you're a freshman, then they have those 0 to 89 credit. You go to this group of advisor. If you're transferred with more than 90 credit hours, you go to this group of advisor. So it's very clear website that you can locate your advisor, okay? Now, once you locate them, how you can communicate with them? You can do several things. You can set up appointments. You can call them. You can email them. You can, if you're here in Atlanta, you can even go in to meet with them in person on campus. So there are different ways. We will making sure all the advisors are available to answer questions. Again, go to advisement.gsu.edu to meet with your advisor or schedule your appointment or get in touch with them. Now, we finished about orientation. We finished talking about how to register for classes, meet your advisor. There are other resources as well, other questions, okay? Housing, a lot of students say, hey, I'm incoming freshman. So at Georgia State, it's not like other university, housing is mandatory. No, on-campus housing at Georgia State is not mandatory. Not only not mandatory, we prefer the students find their resources. If you want to save money, you wanted to share, apartment with other students, and you say, you know what, I don't want to be obliged to getting meal plan. So some housing facility mandatory meal plan, okay? We have a wonderful housing cafeteria facility and a 25 pounds for your first year weight gain guaranteed, but you do not need to have to sign in the meal plan. For some housing, because you don't have a kitchen, you have to mandatory register for the meal plan. So 7 day or 5 days. I do know a lot of students end up not using all their swipes and they have to give away or wasting it because it's not carrying along. So if you don't want it to live on campus, there's also off-campus housing resources. You can contact housing, or you can contact student success, or you can just do a Google search at off-campus housing, Georgia State University. They will tell you all about off-campus housing resources. Now, if you are say, you know what, it's easy, it's already done, it's close by, I wanted to just live on campus for Atlanta downtown campus. Yes, you can do it, absolutely. You just need to submit your application at myhousing.gsu.edu. But again, non-freshman students are having a wait list. For international, I can do a little push at the end around July to making sure all international students are having housing. But if you don't apply, if you wait the last minute to apply, nobody can help you. You have to speak into the existence. You have to react. You have to step up. If you don't do all the steps of what we mentioned, absolutely nobody can help you. I do see a lot of students, the last minutes coming, say, oh, you know, I have not received this thing. I have not getting this information. And we have all the emails, but you know, attached to every email we send it out. We can track them. We can see when you received it, when you opened it, when you clicked it, and when it's delivered. Okay. If it's bounced, there will be a sign so the email has been bounced back. But if you have already read the email, it happens to everybody. It's happened to me, it happened to everybody. It's like we have an email today, we say, you know what, I'll get to it tomorrow. Oh, you know, I'm just busy right now. You know, I'm not in the mood to deal with Georgia State emails. Boom. After 5 weeks, it was like, wait a minute, there was an email somewhere, somehow they sent it to me about this topics, but you cannot find it. Okay. Everybody maybe have hundreds of thousands of emails in your mailbox, you know, in your junks, in your spams, you know. So making sure, react, please do, especially during this time of the year. You're about to come to the next phase of your life, to extend your life to another country at another level of education. That is so important. So start to step up, making sure. As a mom, I do care almost all my students. I got into the mommy mood sometimes. I was telling students, what have you done? Why do you not do this? Kind of like your mama, right? But I will try my best to making sure you get a good communication. But if you don't do your part, don't blame everybody else. All right. So the next one is your pre-arrival. Pre-arrival is important because SSS needed to report back to the immigration office to let them know we have the students has been here legally, has been here entitled to all the responsibility and all the privileges as a student at Georgia State University. So we have to check you in so that you can access to all the other resources. Also, if you need airport local transportation. So again, after COVID, we have now starting to rearrange airport pickup because Georgia State is so easy to access to from the airport. There's MARTA also. There's a Uber. Uber is like what, $15, and also we have a local church that are willing to help our students do airport pickup for free. So you just needed to go to the ISSS website, is isss.gsu.edu, and click on the future students, and then you will find out all the resources. They can get you in touch with those local resources that can help you. Okay. Now, if your students need the information, you can always contact our office as well, admission office, which is ADM International. Jenna, do you mind to put the name, the email in the chat for everybody? It's adminternational@gsu.edu. We will be able to help you out, and as much as we can, we'll send you some information as well. Okay. Also, housing, again, if you have on-campus housing, or a lot of students say, I don't want to start pay housing, you know, like in July. Legally, you can arrive Georgia State 30 days before class start. Class start again, August 26th. That means you can arrive campus on July 27th. So if you come July 27th, university housing is not open until the 19th of August. Early arrival is 19th of August. Because we still have summer session going on. Summer session not finished until beginning of August. And then we need to clean up, we have to, sanitize, and we have to welcome the next group. So the housing, university housing is not ready until pretty much the third week of August, 19th. So you need a short-term hotel stay. If you want to come here early with your parents, you can go to the Welcome Center page. We have a contract with the local hotels to give Georgia State University students a discount, 15% to 20%. Hotels with post-pandemic again, it is very expensive. Okay. Airbnb, I will personally recommend it would be better. If especially if you have more than 2-3 people, Airbnb is better choice. And also there are many families, they just share their room, rather share the whole house, and you can do those as well. So be resourceful and try to check, and also follow us on Instagram. We have a wonderful, wonderful social media team. Amanda, Jenna, and Jessica. I absolutely, I don't know, I dearly enjoy their posts, and they are so good at getting in touch with the students, thinking for our students, post whatever we can think of, from where to eat, where to go, how to be on campus, how to involve in all the Panther, students organizations. So they've been posting a lot of things. Follow us on Instagram. Amanda, can you put our Instagram handle so our students can follow us? Oh, right. Cost of attendance. This is where everybody opened their eyes and, starting to pay attention, right? So if you're attending downtown Atlanta campus, and we do have some, tuition fees, I wanted to explain to you. So for all international students, again, we do have a tuition adjustments for 2025, 2024, 2025. Maybe after registration, you will see a number slightly different from this, because our lovely border region just decided that due to the inflation, the pandemic caused a lot of different, reactions comes to the economic doing. So the border regions has reconsidered and has proposed a tuition increase. So the rate's gonna go domestic students 2.5%. For international students, there will be maybe 7%. So we do not know exactly the number yet. They're still in the pipeline to figure out. So that means based on the number here, which is for 12 credit hours, 1 semester, Georgia State has 2 semesters, spring and fall. If students are not required to register for summer, but if you are registering for summer, you will follow this tuition scale. So for fall and spring, if you register for 12 credit hours every semester, you will do 24 credit hours a year. So this cost is for the year, is annual. You pay twice, you divided this into 2, you pay twice, okay? So how that works, you register for class through June, July, and your tuition due date is the first day of class. Again, class starts on August 26th. Your tuition is due for incoming students. For only incoming students, okay, is due. If you're a current student, I don't know how you get to the session, which you're not supposed to, but just in case there's any, curious current students here, your due date is different from the incoming. Incoming students are first day of class for international. Now, if you are sponsored by your government, we do have students from Saudi, we do have students from the Bahamas, from other regions, they have a government-sponsored program. If you are under the PSSP program, for example, their check is not going to be paid until a later time. You need to contact me directly. Then I can set you up with a financial aid office for your schedule of payment. That is only if you provide your scholarship offer from your government. You can also say, hey, I am scholarship sponsored by my government. Can you put me on the hold list so I can pay later? You have to show me the proof of your government sponsor. Each government sponsors scholarship program, they have an official letter with a signature or a stamp on it. We will be able to hold, post you on that pipeline. to establish a later schedule for you. But without that, your due date is the first day of your class, August 26th. However, there is a grace period. Students come here. In the past, we have students came here on August the 23rd. Last year's class started on 24th. So students arrived one day before, and then they registered on August 24th, which is last year's first day of class. So if you cannot come until August 26th, you register that day, your bill is not come out until the 27th, your due date is that Friday. Do the calculation. 26th, your due date will be what, 31st or 30th that week. Okay, so you register earlier, your due date is August 26th. If you register late, your due date is August 23rd, 5 days on that Friday. All right. So tuition, we have several parts. We have tuition, 24 credit hours is 22,389. If you register 15 credit hours every semester, which is most international students do, okay, they register 15 credit hours per semester. Your tuition for the year is 27,304. Of course, there are fees for Atlanta students, okay? The fees shows like you have access to the library, to the resources, to the recreation center, to all the technology support, campus resources, okay? Living expenses. First of all, this is the estimate. Your living expenses can be way lower than this. We have students actually spend less than 10,000 a year. But the reason we put it there, because we factored in, again, inflation. We want to making sure you coming here with a focus to study. You have enough resources to support you to accomplish your goal as a student. Of course, you can work. Of course, you can do other on-campus, like student, like federal study works if you are a US citizen or green card holder. You can also do student assistant jobs. You can work in the cafeteria. You can work in the admissions office. We have tour guide, and we have many other offices on campus are hiring, and they dearly enjoy international students delegation. Our international students has not failed us. You guys has been really focused on your study, your GPA has shown, and also you guys has been so good at keeping up with your responsibilities. So every office on campus are enjoying having international students as their student support or student assistant. So do making sure, go onto the campus portal. Again, Google, if you cannot find the resources in Google, how I find on-campus jobs at Georgia State University. And they will show you a website called Handshake. You know, your shake hands is called Handshake, okay? Google Handshake at Georgia State University, or how to find an on-campus job opportunity at Georgia State University. They will show that to you. The living expenses including several things. Number one is your dorm or your apartment or whatever who sponsor you, your family members, you're going to live with your friends or family member, they have to fill out the sponsor form to show they are willing to host you to live with them. And they have to show they have a house, they have an apartment to share. You know, if they don't even have a place, they just, providing you this, you will not get approved for your I-20. So they have to show, the sponsor have to show they have a space waiting to accommodating you. So number one is your housing. Number two is your meal. Those are standard based on the federal regulations. We featured that in as well. And number three is your personal expenses, right? You want to have fun. You want to go out with your friends. You want to travel. You want to do all the other things. So that expense is already factored into your living expenses. The next one is mandatory, the health insurance. That is mandatory for all international students, except everything has an exception, right? The exception here are the students who are here in the United States, have a health insurance offered by a US underwriter. So if you're under your parents' insurance policy and your insurance working for a US company and their insurance is offered through a US insurance company, you can provide your insurance policy to the Students Health Insurance Office and waive it up. Is SHIP, SHIP. the boat ship, ship.gsu.edu. Or you can Google online again, how to waive student health insurance at Georgia State University. Or you can just do health insurance at Georgia State University. It will show you all the resources there, including how to waive it out. Step-by-step instructions. I just love Google. It's way smarter than any of people here, and they're very resourceful. They knows everything. So if you ask me, I don't know, I Google for you as well. So why don't you just do it? All the information we mentioned here, you can Google or ask ChatGPT. That's a lot of students do nowadays. So for some of you who has applied earlier before March 1st and who has achieved a high GPA, and this year, due to the competition, we have a very, very competitive pool of applicants. And the GPA right now, originally we started offering for the first round, we offered around December. We cut the student GPA at 3.6. And we have over 2,000 students qualified. And we only have 200 waivers, 200 scholarships to offer. And so based on that, we raised every year, we are justifying our qualification requirement. And this year we adjusted to 3.8 GPA. And also we have a freshman index that features in your SAT, ACT score, your AP, your recommendation, everything. If your index is above 3,000, okay, based on your SAT or ACT test score, based on your national exam, your GPA. We also look at your recommendations from your counselors, and we do select another group. Around March, we offered another round for about 500 international students, okay? So March 1st is our deadline, was our deadline to offer. May 1st was your acceptance deadline for those students offered before March and have not applied, accept by May 1st. Your scholarship are currently on hold, even you already submitted your acceptance later. So we will put yours on hold until we determine, because we offered another 670 after May 1st. Okay, so right now we have 400 students tell us, raise their hand, accepted their scholarship, say, hey, we're coming. We won't have 200 waivers. So we're gonna wait for all the students who has already submitted their intent to enroll, who already accepted their waiver before May 1st, and to apply for their account first. If there's any left, we will apply to the students who already accept their waiver, but after May 1st, and the students who are currently on the wait list. We always be able to do that in the past. We always get about 20 to 30 scholarships back at the end. I hope this year is the same case. All right. So if you have a scholarship applied to your account, the bottom figure is your I-20 number, is what you possibly need to pay, the estimated. The detailed number gonna be lower, a little bit higher than this, depending on how many credit hours you register, depending on what is your living condition you choose, and also depending on if you get a scholarship or not. All right. So the tuitions, again, I've been mentioning about the due date. Class starts August 26th is your due date of payment. The last day to pay is Friday, August 30th by 5 p.m. So the students who registered late, who couldn't pay the bills on August 26th, or the students who cannot, international students, I know some countries do the wire transfer. They maybe when you do the flight wire, there will be maybe 3 to 5 business day delay, okay? You can pay on August 30th. So we always have a grace period for international students until August 30th by 5 p.m. Okay, so making sure you understand, as I said, the one I showed you just now, this is just an estimate. Your real tuition, your real bills will be different from this based on the number of credit hours, based on your living conditions, the dormitory you choose, and based on your scholarship amount. There are students offered 100%. There are students offered 50% of the scholarship. If it's 50%, your Campus Atlanta scholarship will be half of that. The Campus Atlanta scholarship is also known as the out-of-state tuition waiver. So they are the same thing. So again, if you are receiving outside scholarship from your government, from a third party, and their paid the transfer dates or release date may be a little different, please make sure to email me about your offer letter from your government. So your government will send you, say, hey, congratulations, you will be granted for this amount. We need that letter. We need that scholarship confirmation letter, even though your physical check or the fund will be transferred later, but we need that offer letter from your government, from your third party, from your sponsors to our financial aid so that we can apply that to your account so that you won't be dropped. So anybody who's not paying by August 30th, all your classes will be dropped. You will receive an email, say, this is a deadline. Please making sure to pay by this deadline. If not, and they will maybe give you 1 or 2 days again, and then they will drop you. When they drop you, all your classes will be gone. Don't forget, fall classes, there are so many students. We have 50,000 students on campus. Every year, we have about 4,000 to 6,000 incoming students, depending on the transfer, freshmen, or different student groups. Many students are on the wait list for those classes. So if you're being dropped, the classes will move on to the next students on the wait list, and you cannot be reinstated. So making sure you have to make an arrangement on your payment as soon as you can. All right, how you locate your bills. Once you set up your account, register for your classes, all your tuition fees details will be shown on your PAWS account, okay? If you wanted to waive out your students' health insurance, there is a website, is ship, SHIP, at gsu.edu. Okay? Now, if you have a scholarship or the waiver and you register for class on June 20th, you say, wait a minute, my bill is still 40,000 something. What's happening? You said I got a scholarship. Why is this not applying? Don't get panicked. It's okay. We are moving forward. So this is how it works behind the scene. Once you register for your classes, okay, behind the site, I am doing 3 things. First, I confirm your class registration, okay? Number 2, I put you off from the scholarship list. I put you into the confirmation list, and I have to prepare a offer agreement to the vice provost office, okay? Next one, the vice provost office will review based on your class registration, your agreement you sign accepting your scholarship, and they will apply the waiver to your account. Then it takes about 48 hours for you to see your account. So the whole process with all the other duties we're doing may take 5 to 10 business days. So if you registered on June 20th, we will not start inputting all the information until end of June. And then we will apply everything possibly by mid of July. Because your tuition is not due until August 26th, we hope to apply every scholarship by August 1st. If you register before then. Okay, so we have so far, I just counted yesterday, we have 101 international students has been offered, accepted, and registered for the session, for the upcoming advising session. I hope all of you will get into the advisors session and register for that session as soon as possible. Okay, if you have not gotten an email, say, hey, register for your academic advising session. There's something's wrong. Remember I told you there are several things you have to finish prior. Those several things are this. You have to finish your I-20. You have to finish your online orientation. Without those 2, you will not get your email to sign up for the class registration. So if you don't get your class registration, your scholarship will not be applied. And the scholarship only applied if you register for 12 or more credits. We have students registered for 10 because they couldn't find another class. We have students registered for 6 because they didn't pass the AccuPlacer math. AccuPlacer math exam is very easy. It's high school math. Okay. Most students pass it. The reason I said some students didn't pass because the student didn't take it on time. So if you did not take your AccuPlacer math exam, which is required for your major, and you go to an advising session, the advisor cannot register you for any math-related classes. However, they can still register you for humanity, for any other areas. So you might have 6 to 9 credit. Then your scholarship will not be applied. I hope that, clear enough for you to understand the steps. It is confusing. It is not easy, but I have already recorded the session. I will send it to you. Hopefully somewhere you can relocate this conversation and understand it thoroughly. But I tried my best to put the information as clear as possible. Again, you can always reach back to us at adminternational@gsu.edu, or you can come back in the morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Time, office hour. That is walking. You can just come if you have time during that session and just join us. It's not required. You have to do some kind of, preliminary requirement. You can register. You can all just go to the Zoom. So if you're F1 students, again, you have to register full-time, 12 credit hours. Most international, however, register 12. So there's something good about COVID is during COVID time, students are allowed to take a hybrid or online class. However, after 2022, you are required to take at least 9 credit in person, face-to-face, or hybrid. You can do only 3 credit to be online. So that means if you did a 9 credit in person or face-to-face, you can do 5, 4, or 6 credit hours online, depending on how many you can take. We have students basically live in the library. They study there until midnight, and we have school buses that can transport you between the dormitories and the library. And they really study hard. I have one girl who studied pretty much 18 credit hours, and she graduated in 3.5 years. So I don't know how she did it. I don't recommend everybody do it, but you can. It can be accomplished. So the requirement is a full-time, 12 credit hours. Among that, at least 9 credit has to be in person or face-to-face. All right. If you fail to do that, you will get an email from the ISSS office and politely warn you that you need to register for in-person class so you can be in compliance. Now, a lot of students say, hey, all those informations, tell me where I can see my advisor so I can register for my classes. Remember I told you, you can do several things with advisor. You can email them, you can join the session. Now, if you want to meet with them, they are on the 25 Park Place, Atlanta, Georgia. They can be found for College of Arts and Science majors at the 4th floor, for other majors at the 5th floor. Or again, you can visit them online at advisement.gsu.edu. For housing, I want to mention, for housing and also for other resources like class registration or for advising sessions at the Perimeter College, if you want to meet them in person, this is where they are. You can also go to the campus resources to find out all the different questions you have. At each campus, they have a campus resource center as well. We have 5 different campuses at the Perimeter College: Alpharetta on the north, Clarkston, Dunwoody, which is about 20-25 minutes from Georgia State downtown, and Decatur is about 20 minutes. And we have Newton, which is a smaller campus on the east side. Okay, and we also have online campus. So we do have another session talking about if you cannot get your visa, you cannot arrange to be on campus for fall 2024, but you don't want to delay and you want to start online, we will have another session to tell you how to register. But those are the location of your academic advisor. So for housing for Perimeter College, we do not have on-campus housing like downtown campus, but we do have very close near the Dunwoody campus, which is the apartment. So you can email me, I can send you the resources. We have about 2 different departments who's working with Georgia State University and offer our students. We have a lot of students lives near Dunwoody campus, the housing campus. I will put my email in chat for everybody. So email me about housing. If you have Perimeter College housing question, you can email me directly. And also you can Google off-campus housing at Georgia State University. So either way, they're on our off-campus portal as well. I want to circle back to the ISO. A lot of students want to see the screen. Please making sure to contact ISSS, contact ISSS if you have any question about your immigration, international student orientation. That is not the academic advising session or the new student orientation. That is international student orientation only for students who has F or J visas. If you are a U.S. citizen, green card holder, you are not required to go to the ISO. You have any questions, please go email them at isss@gsu.edu for downtown and isssPC@gsu.edu. Again, you can Google them. The information's online as well. All right, now is question time. So I also wanted to stop recording because I will see your information online, which I do not want to share them with the public.